Well, like many malls in the region, the Eastfield Mall in Springfield has lost big anchor stores like Macy's, Penny and Sears in recent years, leaving empty storefronts and shoppers wondering what's to become of the retail space. The owners of the Eastfield Mall have plans to turn the mall into a mixed-use property, which will include entertainment, retail stores, and residential. I sat down with Chuck Breidnbach of Mountain Development and Dave Thompson, the mall property manager, to learn more about the plans.
Well, it's pretty much the same as we've had before, and that is to take the mall and take certain sections of it down and retain certain sections that we feel are worthwhile and make it more of an open-air center, but also make it a mixed-use center so that we have retail, restaurants, entertainment, offices, housing, medical facilities, gyms, daycare, mixed in with a lot of multifamily residential. So we're looking at it as a complete redo of the property without taking the entire thing apart.
Dave, when you look at the mall, I know that Old Navy is still an anchor there. Macy's left, JCPenney's left, and now most recently Sears. For people who have used the mall for so many years in that section of Springfield and surrounding towns, Wilbraham, Munson, it's sad to see it sort of be so quiet when you walk in. And I'm sure you've heard that.
Yeah, I hear it often. There definitely is still a passion for the Eastfield Mall in the local neighborhoods for sure. We're doing pretty good at keeping the inlines full right now, but it is sad, and that it's not for lack of trying, but it's not. We all know what Amazon's doing to the brick and mortar retail, and that's what we're up against.
So as you talked about this mixed use, is this sort of the way of the future when you're looking at these malls that used to dominate shopping back in the 80s, I guess in the 70s?
Yes, but to a large extent, they have to be oriented specifically to the market that they serve. For the years I've been in the business, you could take me into any mall in the country and blindfold me and spin me around in center court, and I couldn't tell you really where it was because all the stores were the same. We'd like to make this property more localized, more unique, more authentic, provide opportunities for local entrepreneurs, local restaurateurs, and really make it something new and different.
And are the movies will stay?
Yes, they have a great interest in staying.
And that's one of the plans. I know another part of the plan is a marijuana cultivation facility that's been talked about. So just bring us up to date on that.
Yes, that was proposed last month in the submissions to the city. And we're looking at a cultivation and manufacturing facility there. It'll provide 200 jobs. It's a relatively quiet operation. But we feel with 200 jobs, that's a really great start to bring people back to the property to work, because what we're trying to establish there is what we call the live, work, play environment. You can live there, you can work there, and you can go out and eat, drink, go to the movies, do whatever you want to do.
And what's the response that you've been getting from both vendors and people in the different neighborhood groups like Indian Orchard and 16 Acres?
Very positive. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, there is a passion still within the neighborhoods for the Eastfield Mall. And when we start to describe what we're trying to do at the center, they light up, and it's like, oh, this, we can't wait. So it's very positive. And that portion of the plan, again, very positive.
And that would go in the Macy's, where
Yes.
Macy's was.
Yes.
So when you talk about, recreation, as part of the footprint, entertainment as well. People are going to be bringing their kids there. Does that, make some people nervous maybe that there's a cultivation facility within the use of the property?
I wouldn't think so. It's been generally accepted here in Massachusetts, and some of the other proposed locations are close to places you would take your kids. You've got one, I believe, down near the Basketball Hall of Fame. You've got one up on Boston Road, close to a doctor's office. So I wouldn't see the difference.
You wouldn't see the difference. And is Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, will they still be making appearances in the new Eastfield Commons?
Absolutely.
That's a big draw,
yes,
as
it
you know.
is. Yeah. So absolutely, yeah.
Okay, something else, you think about how malls have changed, and maybe I'm part of the old guard, but it's frustrating, I think, for a lot of people not to be able to go in, to retail stores because of what you had talked about, the online thing. Is this just the way of the future as far as retail?
Yes, if you look around the country, look locally, look at some of the single-level malls that are close nearby in adjacent towns or areas within an hour here. I can think of 2, 3, or possibly 4 that are having the same problem. We've been lucky to have a lot of community support, a lot of shopper support, and folks like Dave and his staff who work with local merchants to try and grow them or incubate them or get them started or expand their businesses.
What about some of the small businesses? I know that there's a lot of newer, smaller businesses that fill up those stores in the mall, with the absence of, the bigger department stores. Mm-hmm. How are they doing?
They're doing well. They're holding their own. Every now and then, like Chuck mentioned, a lot of them are the mom and pop startups, and they're local people, which is, I think, awesome, And we've had a few that crashed and burned, but we're batting pretty well, or they are doing well.
So what's the next step in this phase for the new Eastfield Commons?
Well, we're in the process of trying to select a joint venture partner. We would like to find somebody who's local or regional who understands the area and, more importantly, shares the same vision that we do for the property. That's tantamount to doing this because we don't want to do it on our own. We're already undertaking one of very similar nature over in Buffalo, New York. It's going very well. We have a local partner there. We've engaged Gensler, who's the world's largest architect, to do the initial site design and research and market research. And we're, just about 9 months into that project with them and are now beginning to see site plans and concept plans that we can utilize based on the community's reaction and their input.
And
that's very important.
In the meantime, the mall, as it exists currently, stays open with the movie theater,
Certainly.
Old Navy, all of that stays
Certainly.
in place. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of moving parts because of the cultivation facility, looking for a partner
Right.
as well. What's the interest in the residential part of the plant?
Well, we did some market research here about a year ago and found that there was a large demand from empty nesters to maintain a residence in Springfield near their families, either rented or owned, but downsized in a multifamily type site where they didn't have to do yard work and repair the roofs and things. Also, we've also found another segment, and that's young professionals that move to the area that are really looking for updated, state-of-the-art multifamily housing. And we find a real need for that in the area. There isn't a lot of it. I don't really think there's any of it. But we feel those are opportunities to service 2 segments of the population that might just leave if they couldn't find what they wanted to.